Testing, testing, testing. What if I put you right here? Testing, 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 testing. Now we're going to test in a couple different places. This is on top of a book, and you're away from me. This is when you're literally in my hand. This is... No, I don't like that. One second. This is when you're on the table next to my chair with the closet door open. This is when you are on my bedside table, not my bedside, my chair table thing when the door is closed, but I'm standing. This is me moving a bunch of stuff. And this is you while I am sitting in said chair, which would probably be the most comfortable. So let's see. I'm going to go back and listen to these. Okay. We're going to do one more. This is me sitting in said chair, but I am facing you. Okay, what about this? This is when I'm leaned back a little bit. I'm maybe about 3 to 4, maybe 2 to 4 feet from the microphone. This is me when I'm a little bit closer. Now, this is not necessarily the most comfortable position, but it might be good. Let's find out. Laura, I'm going to listen to this one too. Okay, last one, I promise. This is you sitting on the armrest, so I don't have to lean forward like this. But I'm not back like here. I'm trying to make it less echoey. Maybe if I tilt you up towards me a little bit. I'm trying to make it less echoey and have a crisp sound, but where I have both of my hands available. Because I don't have a microphone. I just have my phone. That's what this is being recorded on, just in case you were wondering. So after all of those tests, after placing you in various spots around my bedroom, I have decided that holding the phone close to my face is the best sound. And I only want the best for my pap. So here we are. The book is across the room. Okay, come on this adventure with me. We're standing up. We stood up. We're walking. Actually, you're going to come with me because... I needed to check to see if my laundry was done. I moved it over to the dryer, and I just want to take a little look. Oh, I still have 41 minutes. That's, fun. Okay, well... I already did one load and I was like, I could fold it or I could read some of this book to Pap while I'm waiting for all of it to be done, and then I'll fold all of it at once. Okay, Pap. In case you were wondering, sorry, I had something under my butt. In case you were wondering, today it's about 8:06 p.m. on Sunday, November 3rd? Yeah, Sunday, November 3rd. I am going to be reading a book to you called Enchanted. I hope that you enjoy said book. It will be very, very fun for me. Now, I know that you have seen the movie. The book is actually quite different. I was actually shocked how different the book is. It almost was like they did not even attempt to make this book into a movie. So, anyway. But this is Ella Enchanted by Gail Carson Levine. It is a Newbery Honor book, which means that it didn't win, but it was close. I'm going to read you the back, so here's some praise for Ella Enchanted. Gail Carson Levine has a real gift for humor, and her heroine is a real live girl. Strong, funny, assertive, and confused, like all the rest of us. Ella Enchanted is true, touching, and very funny. That comes from Karen Cushman, author of the Newbery Medal winning The Midwife's Apprentice and the Newbery Honor book, Catherine Called Birdie, neither of which I know. Gail Carson Levine brings humor and wit to her story and gives us an intriguing, funny-spirited heroine. This book is fresh and charming. That is by Sharon Creech, the author of the Newbery Medal winning Walk Two Moons. I have heard of Sharon Creech. I didn't know Sharon Creech wrote Walk Two Moons. Okay. And then this refreshing take on one of the world's most popular fairy tales preserves the spirit of the original, but adds plenty of humorous twists and a spunky, intelligent female lead. Pointer review from the Curtis Reviews. Kirkis. Anyway, so here we are, Ella Enchanted. So I've already found an issue. The issue is that I can't turn the page while I'm holding the device. So when you hear, that's me turning the page. And it's gonna happen frequently. All right. Ella Enchanted by Gail Carson Levine to David. More tunes. I don't know what that means. I'm assuming maybe David does. I don't know what more tunes. Like tunes as in Tunes, as in music. More tunes. Maybe that has something to do with the book and I'm just not remembering. However, I did read this book in May. So you would think that I would know. Unfortunately, I do not. Here we go. Ella Enchanted. Okay. Chapter 1. That fool of a fairy, Lucinda, did not intend to lay a curse on me. She meant to bestow a gift. When I cried inconsolably through my first hour of life, my tears were her inspiration. Shaking her head sympathetically at Mother, the fairy touched my nose. My gift is obedience. Ella will always be obedient. Now stop crying, child. I stopped. Father was away on a trading expedition as usual, but our cook, Mandy, was there. She and Mother were horrified, but no matter how they explained it to Lucinda, they couldn't make her understand the terrible thing she'd done to me. I could picture the argument. Mandy's freckles standing out sharper than usual, her frizzy gray hair in disarray, and her double chin shaking with anger. Mother still and intense, her brown curls damp from labor, the laughter gone from her eyes. I couldn't imagine Lucinda. I didn't know what she looked like. She wouldn't undo the curse. My first awareness of it came on my 5th birthday. I seem to remember that day perfectly, perhaps because Mandy told the tale so often. That's me turning the page. For your birthday, she'd start, I'd bake a beautiful cake, 6 layers. Bertha, our head maid, had sewn a special gown for me. Blue as midnight with a white... Oh, I'm sorry, it's Mandy talking. I did the wrong voice. Mandy, in my mind, looks like Professor Sprout, and talks like Maggie Smith. Blue as midnight with a white sash. You were small for your age even then, and you looked like a china doll, with a white ribbon in your black hair and your cheeks red from excitement. In the middle of the table was a vase filled with flowers that Nathan, our manservant, had picked. We all sat around the table. Father was away again. I was thrilled. I had watched Mandy bake the cake and Bertha sew the gown, and Nathan picked the flowers. Mandy cut the cake. When she handed me my piece, she said without thinking, "Eat." The first bite was delicious. I finished the slice happily. When it was gone, Mandy cut another. That one was harder. When it was gone, no one gave me more, but I knew I had to keep eating. I moved my fork into the cake itself. "Ella, what are you doing?" Mother said. "Little piggy," Mandy laughed. "It's her birthday, lady. Let her have as much as she wants." She put another slice on my plate. I felt sick and frightened. Why couldn't I stop eating? Swallowing was a struggle. Each bite weighed on my tongue and felt like a sticky mass of glue as I fought to get it down. I started crying while I ate. Mother realized first. "Stop eating, Ella," she commanded. I stopped. Anyone could control me with an order. It had to be a direct command, such as, "Put on a shawl," or "You must go to bed now." A wish or a request had no effect, as I was free to ignore. "I wish you would put on a shawl," or "Why don't you go to bed now?" But against an order, I was powerless. If someone told me to hop on one foot for a day and a half, I'd have to do it. And hopping on one foot wasn't the worst order I could be given. If you commanded me to cut off my own head, I'd have to do it. I was in danger at every moment. As I grew older, I learned to delay my obedience, but each moment cost me dear. In breathlessness, nausea, dizziness, and other complaints. I could never hold out for long. Even a few minutes were a desperate struggle. I had a fairy godmother, and Mother asked her to take the curse away, but my fairy godmother said Lucinda was the only one who could remove it. However, she also said it might be broken someday without Lucinda's help. but I didn't know how. I didn't even know who my fairy godmother was. I have an itchy head, so I'm gonna itch my head. There we go. I think you, Pap, probably already know who the fairy godmother is because you've seen the movie. But it is, because I think in the movie they tell you right away, but they don't tell you, like, I don't know, I don't remember. Okay. Instead of making me docile, Lucinda's curse made a rebel of me. Or perhaps I was actually that way naturally. Mother rarely insisted I do anything. Father knew nothing of the curse and saw me too infrequently to issue many commands. But Mandy was bossy, giving orders almost as often as she drew breath. Kind orders, or for your own good orders. Bundle up, Ella. Or hold this bowl while I beat the eggs, sweet. I disliked these commands, harmless as they were. I'd hold the bowl, but move my feet so she would have to follow me around the kitchen. She'd call me minx and try to hem me in with more specific instructions, which I would find new ways to evade. Often it was a long business to get anything done between us, with Mother laughing and egging each of us on by turn. We'd end happily, with me finally choosing to do what Mandy wanted, or with Mandy changing her order to a request. When Mandy would absent-mindedly give me an order I knew she didn't mean, I'd say, "Do I have to?" And she'd reconsider. When I was 8, I had a friend, Pamela, the daughter of one of the servants. One day, she and I were in the kitchen watching Mandy make marchpan. When Mandy sent me to the pantry for more almonds, I returned with only 2. She ordered me back with more exact instructions, which I followed exactly, while still managing to frustrate her true wishes. Later, when Pamela and I retreated to the garden to devour the candy, she asked why I hadn't done what Mandy wanted straight off. "I hate when she's bossy," I answered. Pamela said smugly, "I always obey my elders." "That's because you don't have to." "I do have to, or Father will slap me." "It's not the same as for me. I'm under a spell." I enjoyed the importance of the words. Spells were rare. Lucinda was the only fairy rash enough to cast them on people. "Like Sleeping Beauty? Except I won't have to be asleep for 100 years. "What's your spell?" I told her. "If anybody gives you an order you have to obey, including me?" I nodded. "Can I try it?" "No." I hadn't anticipated this. I changed the subject. "I'll race you to the gate." "All right, but I command you to lose the race." "Then I don't want to race." "I command you to race, and I command you to lose." We raced. I lost. We picked berries. I had to give Pamela the sweetest, ripest ones. We played princesses and ogres. I had to be the ogre. An hour after my admission, I punched her. She screamed, and blood poured from her nose. Our friendship ended that day. Mother found Pamela's mother a new situation far from our town of Frel. After punishing me for using my fist, Mother issued one of her infrequent commands, never to tell anyone about my curse. But I wouldn't have anyway. I had learned caution. When I was almost 15, Mother and I caught cold. Mandy dosed us with her curing soup, made with carrots, leeks, celery, and hair from a unicorn's tail. It was delicious, but we both hated to see those long yellow-white hairs floating around in the vegetables. Since Father was away from Frel, we drank the soup sitting up in Mother's bed. If he had been home, I wouldn't have been in her room at all. He didn't like me to be anywhere near him, getting underfoot, as he said. I sipped my soup with the hairs in it because Mandy had said to, even though I grimaced at the soup and at Mandy's retreating back. "I'll wait for mine to cool," Mother said. Then after Mandy left, she took the hairs out while she ate and put them back in the empty bowl when she was done. The next day, I was well, and Mother was much worse, too sick to drink or eat anything. She said there was a knife in her throat and a battering ram in her head. To make her feel better, I put cool cloths on her forehead and told her stories. They were only old familiar tales about the fairies that I changed here and there, but sometimes I made Mother laugh, except the laugh would turn into a cough. Before Mandy sent me off for the night, Mother kissed me. "Good night. I love you, precious." They were her last words to me. As I left the room, I heard her last words to Mandy. "I'm not very sick. Don't send for Sir Peter." Sir Peter was father. The next morning she was awake, but dreaming. With wide open eyes, she chattered to invisible courtiers and plucked nervously at her silver necklace. To Mandy and me, there in the room with her, she said nothing. Nathan, the manservant, got the physician, who hurried me away from Mother's side. Our hallway was empty. I followed it to the spiral staircase and walked down, remembering the times Mother and I had slid down the banister. We didn't do it when people were around. We have to be dignified, she would whisper then, stepping down the stairs in an especially stately way. And I would follow, mimicking her and fighting my natural clumsiness, pleased to be a part of her game. But when we were alone, we preferred to slide and yell all the way down, and run back up for another ride, and a third, and a fourth. When I got to the bottom of the stairs, I pulled our heavy front door open and slipped out into bright sunshine. It was a long walk to the old castle, but I wanted to make a wish, and I wanted to make it in a place where it would have the best chance of being granted. The castle had been abandoned when King Gerald was a boy, although it was reopened on special occasions, for private balls, weddings, and the like. Even so, Bertha said it was haunted, and Nathan said it was infested with mice. Its gardens were overgrown, but Bertha swore the candle trees had power. I went straight to the candle grove. The candles were small trees that had been pruned and tied with wires to make them grow in the shape of a candelabra. For wishes you need trading material. I closed my eyes and thought, if Mother gets well quick, I'll be good, not just obedient. I'll try harder not to be clumsy, and I won't tease Mandy so much. I didn't bargain for Mother's life because I didn't believe she was in danger of dying. Ladylike, isn't it? Okay, so I'm going to give you some commentary on chapter 1. I feel like they, in the movie, something they do that is a little bit different than the book is, in the movie, they make her dad almost seem just kind of clueless. Like, he's just like, I love Ella, but whatever. And in the book, she's like, especially in this first chapter, she's like, yeah, he wasn't around, and when he was, he didn't want me there. So you can already see where, like, her dad maybe isn't the best guy, and this is prior to, like, anything actually happening. That might be my only commentary. I mean, I don't know. You probably have never seen this show, Pep, but there's a show called Gilmore Girls. And the main character's name is Lorelai, actually. And in Gilmore Girls, the mom, Lorelai, has the daughter when she's 16. And so when you get to, like, the first episode of the show is the daughter is now 16 and the mom's 32. And it's, like, about them and their life and their grandparents and, like, all of the stuff. Like, they live in a small town in Connecticut and et cetera, et cetera. But they have, like, a pretty solid mother-daughter relationship. And I kind of feel like that's probably the kind of relationship that Ella had with her mom, where, like she and her mom were pretty much, like, best friends, you know? That's, like, kind of how I picture it. Okay, that's really, so far, my only commentary. Oh, well. Also, Mandy, in the movie, Mandy is played by Minnie Driver. She's, like, young and beautiful and all this stuff. And in my mind, I think I told you this earlier, but in my mind, in the book, Mandy looks like Professor Sprout. Like, she's kind of short and squat. She's, like, a double chin. She's older. Just kind of like, this cook has been around forever. Not like a young lady, but like, oh, this cook is just here and, you know, Ella hangs out with her all the time and stuff like that. Anyway, okay, that's my commentary. Let's get to chapter 2.